like clock. I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols, reaming my body.
Alright guys, I wanted to talk about Boruto of 2021 and what I expect to see in Boruto of this year. And now, a couple of things that we should be seeing is going to be extremely exciting. And I think the first one that everybody probably expects to see is obviously going to be the time skip or slash Boruto Shippuden. Now, we don't really know if it's going to be called Boruto Shippuden or not. That's pretty much like a large guess, mainly because the time skip after the Naruto series was, of course, Naruto Shippuden. But regardless, the time skip after Boruto is probably going to be one of the best things to probably hit Boruto, mainly because it's going to be one completely new. Like, we have absolutely no idea what's going to go on, and of course it's going to continue the theme of being extremely serious. In the Boruto Shippuden series, we don't really know exactly what's going on. It's going to be extremely confusing, mainly because we're not necessarily looking towards one main opposition. The regular Boruto manga, of course, the one main opposition was the Kado organization, Jigen or Ishiki Otsutsuki. In Boruto Shippuden, as of right now, we have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. Now, I do expect, of course, we are talking about 2021, possibly in the upcoming chapters, something is going to happen, and then we're probably going to get to figure out, or we're probably going to have a very good idea what the Boruto manga and Boruto Shippuden is probably going to have in store for us when that actually does come to pass. For example, if Code comes out of nowhere, destroys the Hidden Leaf Village, and steals Kawaki in the next chapter, of course, after the time skip is going to be 100% focused on that problem right then and there. Not saying that's going to happen, but you guys get where I'm coming from. Now, specifically when I think the Boruto time skip is probably going to happen, as of right now, we're about like chapter 53 of the Boruto manga. Of course, logically, everybody will just round up to the next nearest tens, and of course, say the time skip is going to be around chapter 60. Now, me personally, I definitely think that's definitely a possibility, but I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to say chapter 58 should actually be the time skip, and at that particular point, we're probably going to figure out exactly why it's going to be the time skip, and of course, what the storyline is going to be heading into the time skip. Now, of course, the next thing that's going to happen in 2021, this right here has been no secret at all. The Boruto writers or the Boruto animators, they have been pretty much flaunting this guy for a very long time. It's going to be Kawaki. Now, supposedly Kawaki was supposed to show up this year, or not necessarily this year, last year in 2020. The reason why he didn't necessarily show up is, of course, because the anime went on hiatus because of COVID. In this particular situation, it's going to be confirmed. Hopefully, we're not going to get any more postponements of the Boruto anime, but he's finally coming. Now, the specific episode, I have absolutely no idea, but I could literally bet my bottom dollar if the Boruto anime is not going to be postponed, he is going to be making an appearance. Now, continuing on with the theme of the Boruto anime, I think the manga should be adapted in the Boruto anime up until chapter 30. Now, if you guys don't necessarily remember what chapter 30 was, it was pretty much right before Delta fought against Naruto, and I think the Naruto versus Delta fight is probably going to be a very big point of emphasis at the Jump Festa promo. I know some of you guys don't necessarily know exactly what the Jump Festa promo is. It's pretty much where a bunch of animes get together and they basically show exactly what's going to happen in the upcoming year. Of this past Jump Festa, a big theme was, of course, the Kado organization, them finally being introduced into the Boruto anime. And as I said, in this particular Jump Festa, I think it's going to be heavily Delta versus Naruto, and I think that fight right there is probably going to be animated to perfection. I don't necessarily think it's probably going to happen in 2021, but I think it's probably going to happen January of 2022. So I think the manga is probably going to be adapted up until then. The next thing that I definitely want to see this year, and I think we'll probably get a hint towards it this year and possibly even see it this year, and I know it's going to be extremely wishful thinking, but it's going to have to be Boruto's Idojutsu, the Jogen. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this has been something that a lot of people has lost complete faith in, but in terms of not only the Boruto manga, the Boruto anime has completely forgot about Boruto's Jogen, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to figure out exactly what's going on with it. In this year, I have absolute faith. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this might be a slim faith, but I have faith that we're probably going to get to see the Jogen and potentially even learn about some actual things regarding to the Jogen, specifically what it does, why Boruto has it, and a bunch of other things like that. Now, of course, I do want to point out, it's not necessarily like we have no idea what the Jogen is in the Boruto anime, completely disregarded from the beginning. Of course, they did give us a lot of information about the Boruto Jogen, but it's just the sheer fact that after the first arc of the Boruto series, like literally the first arc of the Boruto anime, we pretty much don't know anything after that. Like, the Boruto anime has just been showing it briefly once or twice into a couple of frames or something like that, and that's been it. So I think the Boruto anime this year is going to dive a lot more deeper into the Boruto's Jogen, and potentially, I have absolutely no idea, but potentially, hopefully, Toneri might actually come back. The next thing that I do want to talk about in regards to this year has to be Code's real agenda. We understand that Code was probably one of the only actual loyal members of the Kado organization, and him right now, let's be honest, at this particular point, he's probably still guarding the 10 tails, waiting for further instructions from Ishiki Otsuki. Now, when I talk about Code's real agenda, I'm specifically talking about precisely what Code wants to do. At this particular point, Code is literally a wild card. He could potentially try to destroy the planet, he could potentially try to destroy the Hidden Leaf Village, or he could potentially join the Hidden Leaf Village and be a very good asset for the Hokage Naruto and everybody else in the Hidden Leaf Village. What we understand is that 9 times out of 10 is Code is probably going to be a very, and I mean extremely strong character. He was tasked with guarding the 10 tails out of everything, and I'm pretty sure Amado knows exactly what Code does well and where Code's weak spots can possibly be. Of course, we've all understood that the Hidden Leaf Village is pretty much the creme de la creme. They're the strongest village in the ninja world. They could potentially be the strongest force on the planet. With the addition of Code, with the addition of Amado, it could potentially be even more insurmountable. Of course, gaining assets at this particular time is going to be extremely important and impactful, especially if we do anticipate some more Otsutsuki members or some more extremely overpowered enemies that could potentially cause a threat or pose a threat to not only the Hidden Leaf Village but also to Boruto. And speaking of brand new threats, in 2021 there's definitely a possibility of a brand new Otsutsuki member, and of course with the knowledge of Amado, the Hidden Leaf Village are probably going to start to understand this. There could potentially be hundreds or even thousands of other Otsutsuki members out there potentially just waiting to attack Earth, and it's not only going to be weak Otsutsuki members. People are going to start to understand, hey, Ishiki Otsuki went to Earth, he didn't return. Kagi went to Earth, he didn't return. Momoshiki went to Earth, he didn't return. Kinshiki went to Earth, he didn't return. Otsutsuki members are going to start catching wind, they're going to start entering this dimension. But of course we understand potentially the biggest dilemma in the Boruto manga in terms of 2021 is going to be the internal struggle with Boruto wrestling with Momoshiki. At this particular point, we understand that Momoshiki is running rampant, and of course Boruto is going to have to find a way to potentially stop Momoshiki. And of course, not only that, Naruto, Sasuke, if they do survive this particular situation, they're going to be having to answer questions and of course defending Boruto about specifically what they should actually do with them. There are going to be a lot of people not only in the Hidden Leaf Village but also in other villages as well, basically wanting to execute Boruto to eliminate the threat of Momoshiki Otsuki. What are they going to do to potentially combat the threat? And of course, how are they going to protect Boruto from a foe that's literally hiding within the Hokage's son's body? But let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section below. Give me some things that you guys expect to see from the Boruto series in 2021. This year, in my opinion, is going to be a lot better in terms of the Boruto anime than 2020, and I think Boruto 2021 manga, it's gonna have a very difficult time topping 2020 manga, because 2020 Boruto manga, it was absolutely insane. But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.